Yo, welcome and thanks for listening to the Real Work Stories podcast. I am your host, Benjamin, and I hope that y'all are doing great. Look, thanks again for all the likes, comments, shares, downloads. I say it every episode, but that's only because I mean it. I really appreciate it, y'all. But here's the thing. Today, I got a kind of a funny topic I want to talk about. And it's the fact that customers say the darndest things. I mean, if you've ever worked in any type of customer service, I don't care whether it was sitting behind a desk answering phones, I don't care if it was sitting on the other side of some kind of plexiglass window, if you was working a drive-through at 3 a.m, it don't matter. You've ever worked with any type of customers for any length of time, 2 weeks, 10 years, 4 days, 6 hours, it really don't matter. But you've heard them say some things that have just made you be like, what? I mean, like, stuff that was so outrageous that you had to have them say it again because you needed to know how silly it was, number one, and you wanted to see if it would click in their heads how silly it was if they said it out loud a second time. But then they don't get it and they just look at you like you the crazy one. Look, I'll just tell you about some of the ones I had because it might take you a minute to remember. So I'll just tell you about some I had. So I remember this one time. I had this one dude. He calls in. So, I give my little opening spiel. Hey, thanks for calling. My name is Benjamin. How can I help you? He's like, did you say your name is Benjamin? I said, yeah, that's right. He said, Benjamin. Like, does that start with a B? I said, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Could you repeat that? I heard him loud and clear the first time. He said, yeah, you said your name is Benjamin, right? I said, yeah. He said, okay. Does Benjamin start with a B? And in my response, I was like, duh. I mean, yes, it does start with a B. Because in my entire life, never have I ever encountered someone who spelled the name Benjamin starting with a letter other than B. Now, I know that some people like to get creative with the way they spell names and stuff, and that's fine. This is a no judgment zone. I just don't ever recall there being a silent letter in front of the B in Benjamin. Now, if you should so happen to know somebody who spells their name that way, power to you. I'm just saying, in my experience, I ain't never seen it. I ain't never heard it. I'm just saying. Okay. That wasn't too bad. Might have you chuckle a little bit. This one didn't make me chuckle. This one still has me confused to this day. And I still don't quite know what to do with this. I don't even know why this conversation holds space in my memory. Have y'all seen that thing on social media where it says, like, what video lives rent-free in your head? These conversations that I talk about live rent-free in my head because why I've committed these things to memory, I do not know. Actually, I do know. It was so I could come on here and talk to y'all about it. That's exactly what it was for. Let me tell you this one. So, back in the day, I used to work with a cell phone company. Again, I ain't gonna say who it was, because that part don't matter. The part that matters is the crazy things that were said. So, this person calls in, and they're like, yeah, I want to pay my bill. I said, okay, no problem. Are you going to be paying with a debit or credit card, or do you want to use like your, account and routing number? This person responds and says, oh, I'm going to pay with a card. I said, okay. I never asked what kind of card it was because it didn't matter. We took all of them. He said, I'm going to be paying the bill with a Visa MasterCard. What? So me thinking quick on my feet. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. You want to split the payment, make a part of the payment with the Visa card, make another part of the payment with the MasterCard. No problem. We can do that. How much are we putting on each card? He says, no. Listen to me. I want to pay the bill using my Visa MasterCard. At this point, I took a deep breath. I said, okay, what's the card number? Because at this point, I don't care what the logo is on it. If you say that this is a Visa MasterCard, I am not about to sit here and go back and forth with you. Just give me this card number, give me the expiration date, give me this little 3-digit codes on the back. As long as the payment goes through, I really don't care who you got the card from. But I guarantee you that card does not have both a Visa and a MasterCard logo on it. Now, I do not know everything that there is to know about everything. So I could be wrong. All I'm saying is that I've worked at a bank as well, and even there, you do not have a Visa MasterCard. You either have a Visa or a MasterCard, or you may even have both. But I guarantee you don't have one card with both logos on it. Now, again, if you do, somebody learn me something, please. Message me on Instagram, message me on Facebook, email me, realworkstoriespodcast@gmail.com. Okay? Find me on Facebook at Real Work Stories Podcast. Find me on Instagram. Guess where? Real Work Stories Podcast. Teach me something I don't know. You found out a way to have a Visa MasterCard? Please let me know the secret to life, because I want to know. Okay? All right, cool. I'm just saying. But like I said, this is the episode where I'm going to talk about the fact that customers say the darndest things, because that right there, people, was probably one of the most outrageous things I've ever heard in my life. Literally never have heard anything like that before then or since then. Like that was probably the craziest. Now, as I'm thinking along the lines of like funny things I had customers say to me, I remember talking to one customer who was actually in the process of getting a divorce. And you would think that during the process of a divorce, some people would be a little sad. You know, some people are hesitant to talk about it. But when you work in customer service, it's the exact opposite. No, people will tell you everything about their lives that you didn't ask them. So one dude, he tells me he's getting a divorce, and I'm, trying to be sympathetic. Oh man, I'm sorry that's happening. He was like, oh no, I don't care. My ex-wife smelled like whiskey and wolf butt. Now, I'm gonna say that again. This guy says his ex-wife, smelled like whiskey and wolf behind. Now, I don't know how he knows what wolf behind smells like. But that combination of things together is hilarious to me. Whiskey and wolf butt. I'm sorry. You might think I'm a little childish for laughing at that, but I could not help it. I couldn't help it when he said it, and I can't help it now. That is the strangest combination of things to put together. It's like, hey, if you had to describe what your ex smelled like, he hits the buzzer, ding, and his answer is whiskey and wolf butt. Like, what do you do for a living or in your regular day life where when you asked about your ex, he's thinking like, well, I know what the whiskey smells like, and I know what wolf behind smells like. Mix them together, shake it up, let it settle. That's what my ex smelled like. Like, that's a terrible combination, but it is hilarious. No matter which way you think about it. You probably can't even say that combination of words without laughing. Whiskey and wolf butt. At least I can't stop laughing if I say it. Moving on. Now, I know I said at the beginning of this episode that this was going to be one that was going to make you laugh. And if you haven't laughed yet, after listening to me talk about somebody who tried to pay a bill with a Visa MasterCard or whiskey and wolf butt, this next one definitely ain't going to make you laugh. And that's fine. So, like I said, this is the episode where I'm actually talking about the fact that customers say the darndest things. And in that, I would like to know, this is the question of the day. I would like to know, am I the only one who has ever been threatened by a customer? Like a customer threatened you as a person personally, not the company. Not like, oh, I hate this company, I'm going to come blow the building up. No, like I'm hunting you down personally if you don't fix this or do this. No? Again, let me invite you into my world just for a little bit, okay? So, I remember a couple situations very distinctly. One of the most vivid that I remember, I was working at a bank, and just like almost every other day, people call in because, they got fees on their account, whatever it may be. It might be late fees, overdraft fees, whatever the case is. And they want their money back. I get it. So I get this phone call from this individual, and he is of Vietnamese descent. I'm not just making that up. He actually told me that, and it'll make sense later why I'm telling you that. But he's calling in. He's like, hey, I got some fees on my account. I was wondering if you can help me get, some of this money back. Sure, no problem. Let's look up the account. Let's see what we can do. So, long story short, I looked through his account. The bank has given him a lot of money back. A lot of money, like almost an obscene amount of money back. Like if you've ever called a company to get a refund, you know what I'm saying? They give you, let's say your late fee was, $10, $15, whatever. Shoot. Let's say your late fee was $20. No, we done gave you that back maybe 2-3 times or whatever. Okay, cool. You might see that as nothing, right? And I get that. But when you've literally gotten like $700 back in the last 90 days, you can't just act like that hasn't already been done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever talk to those kind of customers where they're like, you guys don't do anything to help me. And it's like, but you haven't paid a bill in 4 months because you keep calling back and people keep giving you credits and refunds back. What do you mean we don't do anything to help you? Okay, that was the type of situation I was dealing with. I'm looking at this account and I'm like, dude, we done gave you back like $500 in the last 90 days. So I didn't say that to him, just looking. So I go back on the line and I'm like, hey, I've looked at this every which way I can. I've looked at it up, down, sideways, flipped it over. Tried to pull every string I could. I can't give you anything back. We're actually at the limit. I'm sorry. I want to help you. I really do. But at this point, we can't do anything else at this time. Right. Then he says to me, and I quote, I'm from Vietnam. It's a communist country. And we don't F word around. I said, excuse me? And then he had the audacity to actually repeat it again. He said, I'm from Vietnam. It's a communist country. And we don't F word around. Now, it was early in the morning when I took this phone call. So part of me didn't even realize he was threatening me. I was just like, what? This has absolutely no relevance to anything. I don't even know where this threat came from. So he's like, so you're just not going to do anything to help me? Now, mind you, I'm saying that he threatened me, but in the moment, I didn't realize this was a threat, y'all. I'm just like, okay, he's just mad, talking out the side of his neck. But he asked a question, So you're not going to do nothing to help? So I said, well, let's look at some of the things we've already done to help. We gave you this much money back this time and gave you X amount of dollars back this time. We've been helping a significant amount. So, right now that well is run dry, so to speak. There's nothing else we can do. Then he begins to yell some obscenities in what I assume to be Vietnamese. Then the call drops. So long story short, after coming back from my break, come to find out, this is a whole issue. I am in the middle of writing statements and making phone calls to departments that I didn't even know existed at this place. So apparently we had this whole security process we have to go through when customers say crazy stuff like that to us. I don't know if y'all jobs do that, but mine did. And I was just like, wow, like this really happened. Like blew up bigger than I could have ever imagined it would. All because I couldn't give this guy a refund back. Like these are the types of things when I say customers say the darndest things. It's like, wait, how did the conversation get here? And what really kicks me, this is the kicker, guys. Sometimes customers go 0 to 100, you can see it coming, right? Either they come in and they're already 100, or they start off, it's regular, but you can hear their voice shaking a little bit, and you know that either A, they're gonna cry, or B, they're about to tell you off. And this was like the calm before the storm. Like I didn't even realize that the conversation was about to turn this hard left, but it did. There's nothing I can do about it now. But I bet you he wished he didn't make that threat. That's all I'm saying. Now, there was one other time I did have a customer tell me, I will hunt you down if my debit card doesn't work. And I was like, why? Like, well, I guess my first question would be, with what resources? Because apparently you can't pay for nothing if your card don't work, right? That's a little petty. But it's true. Like, what? Somebody help me. Help me understand this. What makes them think that by threatening us, that this is somehow going to get them exactly what they want? Like, really? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't get it. And I'm sure neither do you. But here's the thing. That's all I'm going to tell you for today. But what I want you to do, check me out on Instagram at Real Work Stories Podcast. Check me out on Facebook at Real Work Stories Podcast. Tell me about a time. I know this sounds like an interview, don't it? Tell me about a time when a customer said something to you that was just so off the wall it made you scratch your head. Something so off the wall that it made you burst at the seams laughing. Tell me something that a customer said to you that was so crazy it just had you like, wait, what? I want to know. Because like I said, I don't just want to tell my stories on here, even though I do enjoy telling my own stories. And y'all have been very supportive. And again, thank you. But I want to hear what y'all got to say. Tell me some of y'all crazy situations. Tell me about some of the silly things that customers have said to y'all. Now, if you don't want to comment on the post, I get it. That is fine. DM me, Facebook or Instagram. I don't care. Nobody will know it was you. You feeling a little old school? You don't want to do that? Email me, realworkstoriespodcast@gmail.com. I'll make sure it stays anonymous. But that's all I got for y'all. Again, I'm your host, Benjamin. I'm out.